Chapter 1 of Run to Earth, a Novel. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Gail Mattern. Run to Earth, a Novel, by Mary Elizabeth Braddon. Chapter 1 Warned in a Dream. 27 years ago, and a bleak evening in March. There were gas lamps flaring down in Ratcliffe Highway, and the sound of squeaking fiddles and trampling feet in many public houses tell of festivity provided for Jack along shore. The emporiums of slop sellers are illuminated for the better display of tarpaulin coats and hats, so stiff of build that they look like so many seafaring suicides, pendant from the low ceilings. These emporiums are here and there enlivened by festoons of many-coloured bandana handkerchiefs, and on every pane of glass in shop or tavern window is painted the glowing representation of Britannia's pride, the immortal Union Jack. Two men sat drinking and smoking in a little parlour at the back of an old public-house in Shadwell. The room was about as large as a good-sized cupboard, and was illuminated in the daytime by a window commanding a pleasant prospect of coal shed and dead wall. The paper on the walls was dark and greasy with age, and every bit of clumsy, bulging deal furniture in the room had been transformed into a kind of ebony by the action of time and dirt, the greasy backs and elbows of idle loungers, the tobacco smoke and beer stains of half a century. It was evident that the two men smoking and drinking in this darksome little den belonged to the seafaring community. In this they resembled each other, but in nothing else. One was tall and stalwart, the other was small and wizen and misshapen. One had a dark, bronzed face, with a frank, fearless expression. The other was pale and freckled, and had small, light grey eyes that shifted and blinked perpetually, and shifted and blinked most when he was talking with most animation. The first had a sonorous bass voice and a resonant laugh. The second spoke in suppressed tones, and had a trick of dropping his voice to a whisper whenever he was most energetic. The first was captain and half owner of the brigantine Pizarro, trading between the port of London and the coast of Mexico. The second was his clerk, factotum, and confidant, half sailor, half landsman, able to take the helm in dangerous weather if need were, and able to afford his employer counsel in the most intricate questions of trading and speculation. The name of the captain was Valentine Jernam, that of his factotum Joyce Harker. The captain had found him in an American hospital, had taken compassion upon him, and had offered him a free passage home. On the homeward voyage, Joyce Harker had shown himself so handy a personage that Captain Jernam had declined to part with him at the end of the cruise, and from that time the wizen little hunchback had been the stalwart seaman's friend and companion. For 15 years, during which Valentine Jernam and his younger brother George had been traders on the high seas, things had gone well with these two brothers, but never had fortune so liberally favoured their trading as during the 4 years in which Joyce Harker had prompted every commercial adventure and guided every speculation. 4 years to-day, Joyce, since I first set eyes upon your face in the hospital at New Orleans, said Captain Jernam, in the confidence of this jovial hour. Why, the fellow's dead, said I. No, he's only dying, says the doctor. What's the matter with him, asked I. Homesickness and empty pockets, says the doctor. He was employed in a gaming house in the city, got knocked on the head in some row, and was brought here. We've got him through a fever that was likely enough to have finished him, but there he lies, as weak as a starved rat. He has neither money nor friends. He wants to get back to England, but he has no more hope of ever seeing that country than I have of being Emperor of Mexico. Hasn't he?
Sample complete. Ready to continue?